I used to blame everyone else for the pain, the broken pieces, for the woman I became, the woman I no longer knew. But the hardest conversation I ever had was with the woman looking back at me, the one standing right in front of me, the one in the mirror. I perfected the art of pretending, smiling while my heart was bending, pointing fingers everywhere but me, like I was blind to what I see. Built these walls so high around me, thought nobody could surround me, but every lie I told myself was slowly breaking down my health. And the mirror kept on calling my name by lie. I was trying to hide, I tried to run, I tried to hide, but truth doesn't disappear with time, it waits right there staring you down, looking you right in your eyes. The truth hurts when it's staring back at you. Truth hurts when the blame ain't someone new. Truth hurts. I had to face the woman in the mirror and finally say what I knew. Truth hurts, but healing starts when the truth is you. I blame my past, I blame the pain, I blame the storm, I blame the rain, but somewhere in the wreckage of everything I survived, I got the power of the woman still alive. So I wiped my tears, looked deep in my soul, and told that broken girl it's time to take control. No more running, no more lies, no more hiding in disguise. It's time to meet my own eyes. Truth hurts, but it set my spirit free. Truth hurts, but it woke the best in me. I had to face the woman the truth is love, and now I'm finally free. Mirror, mirror on the wall, I forgive you for it all, for the times you lost your way, for the nights you couldn't pray. You survived, I try to break you. Now it's time to recreate you. You are priority. Truth hurts, but look at me now, standing strong, standing proud. The woman I was, the woman I am, finally holding my own hand. Truth hurts, but truth heals too. And the best thing I ever did was tell myself the truth about me. Stepping into my true authenticity, free to break from my shell, living in that not so perfect life. No more hiding, no more shame. I know my worth, I claim my name. I am the woman in the mirror, the one who finally loves who she became. But the lies I was telling myself almost destroyed me. But my growth is louder. But self-love is the best love, and I don't wanna play second anymore. I'm a winner, and the truth is I am beautiful in every way. I am perfect in my imperfections. I am not afraid to get naked and admire the woman in the mirror, looking back at me. Truth hurts. Da 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 da.
Tell them, lady, to love. Come catch these L.U.V.E.2 vibes. Looking for answers, looking for peace, trying to find a safe place. From healing and hope to purpose and truth, the journey begins inside of you.
Ooh, inside of you.
This is your time to let your courage rise, your ownership grow, finding your value, letting your voice show. Come on, that's it.
Release and restore.
Respect what is true.
Step into your destiny.
The best version.
Where healing becomes what guides you. In L.U.V.E.2. Where love and purpose finds you.
Building what's within,
Creating what is true.
in L.U.V.E.2.
Love starts with you.
Join the conversation that's transforming lives through self-love awareness. That's in L.U.V.E.2, baby. With your favorite inspiration, Solutionist.
What builds and what binds. L.U.V.E.2.
And love to create you.
Love starts with you.
Now come inside.
The show is about to start.
Welcome to the Too Gone, Too Long Judgment-Free Network. Please note that the opinions expressed by our guests and participants are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the network. We are committed to maintaining a safe and respectful environment. Bullying, harassment, or scrutinizing of any kind will not be tolerated and results in immediate removal and blocking from our platform. Thank you for helping us keep this a positive and judgment-free space for all. We welcome you and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to start out with a question. I'm Lady to Love here on the L.U.V.E.2 podcast, but I'm going to start out with a question here. Have you ever felt like everything inside of you was saying no, but the words that came out your mouth was yes? Think about that. After that, you said, or you felt angry. Let's say it like that. You felt drained, maybe even exhausted at yourself for saying that. Tonight, we're going to be talking about boundaries that don't feel like punishment. Punishment, not only for you, but not only for you and them. So it works for everybody. So what we're going to be doing is exploring boundaries itself, how to formulate them, why we have them, what makes us feel kind of not so good about them. But that's what we're going to be talking about. I am Lady to Love on the L.U.V.E.2 podcast. And you are here with me, and this is a Wednesday night. And I am here It is 8 p.m., a little bit after, but we're here all the same. And I want you to join me in sharing this out. At least share this out to 5 people, because we're going to get deep. I'm a very deep person when I want everybody to be aware of what they need to do to heal. So here we go. We're going to get in boundaries and how to make ourselves better, because this is what we're about. Remember that healing is not the destination. Healing is the foundation. And where we're going in this, we want to always know what builds and what binds us in love, in relationships, to make you, you. So that's what we'll be exploring, how boundaries can kind of sometimes feel like punishment. Like not only punishment for you, punishment for the other person as well. Be it family, friend, or romantic, on the job, any of those types of situations. So we have to make sure of what we're doing. And I know you can relate to this. And I want you to tell me, hi, everybody. Hello, I'm here. I'm here. Let me know you're here. Because what happens is we're going to definitely explore the things that we need to do to build, to bind, and create a better you. So let's get deep into this. I know that most of us have several occasions where we're building and we're working with other people and we're trying to make relationships be all that they should be. And when you're doing that, you want to be relating to the person that builds a great relationship. And situations may come up. Let's say a situation like you're on a phone call or you're answering a phone call and you really don't want to answer the phone call because you're trying to get some rest. That's a situation. I've been through that. Lending money because you're afraid to say no. Is that a sticky situation? You can relate to some of these things. I'm sure, audience, you can relate to some of these things. Let me know out there that you hear what I'm saying. Say hi, I got you. So allowing family. This is another one. Allowing family members to disrespect you and your time. What about remaining silent? You're going to get the silent treatment to avoid conflict, or you're going to create the silent treatment to avoid conflict. These are all things that will need to have boundaries formulated to make sure that you are doing the things that creates a safe environment as well as a harmonious environment, because you want to relate well with the other people you're with. Taking responsibility for everyone. You take all of it on your shoulder. You're being responsible for all the things that they do, as well as the things that you need to do. So those are some of the things that will cause you to be in the state of formulating boundaries. And you need boundaries. We need to know, first of all, what is the definition? What is a boundary? What is a boundary? Anyone out there have an idea of what a boundary is? Hello, Ernestine. Ernestine says, hello, love. Yes. What is a boundary? Is it something you formulate to keep you safe or keep them out, or both? What is a boundary? Most of all, if you think of it, it's something that you can value to protect yourself. You can implement to set a, not just a guard, but it's a protection for making sure that they communicate, they understand, and they can relate. So what makes boundaries hard sometimes? What makes boundaries hard to set is sometimes you maybe have a certain feeling for that person. And it's hard to set the boundary in that case. So in those cases, you might feel guilt, you might feel fear, you might even feel confusion and even rejection also. But knowing what to say is very important. So we're going to get into like the structure of what a good boundary is formulated with. We must have boundaries because it helps us be able to communicate better, relate better, and let the person know what our limits are, because boundaries contain limits. So the definition of a boundary to me is a boundary is it's not a punishment, first of all. It's a clear instruction on how you are going to do a certain thing to protect yourself, your peace, maybe your peace of mind, your honor, your values. And you're going to put a particular, like, healthy, I say healthy limitation on it so that the other person can get a clear understanding of what you're going to do. So a boundary is not a punishment. It's a clear instruction on how you will protect your peace, your honor, your values, and then how you will participate with that person in a healthy way in it. So in formulating all of this, you need to make sure you start with those things that contains a boundary, of what a boundary is. And we want to make sure that everything is included. And when I say everything is included, I'm going to definitely start right here with your basic instructions. I'm going to go to Proverbs. In your space, that's right. Ernestine says in your space, definitely. You got to protect your space. I'm going to go to Proverbs 15:1. And that is going to start us off. It's going to start us off with, excuse me, I dropped something I needed to pick up. We're going to start with Proverbs because I do believe we need to start with referencing our basic instructions and then close with our basic instructions. When it comes to knowing how to relate to people, it's all in the good book. It's all in the good book. So Proverbs 15:1 reads, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. I'll read that one more time. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Now, how does that connect? How does that relate to what we're about to do? We're exploring boundaries that don't feel like punishment. Now, boundaries, they help you communicate. That's what it's about, communicating and communicating firmly. You want to make sure that you're without confusion when you make a boundary. You don't want to be harsh, but you want to use a calm tone that says no in the same voice, while keeping your heart open to understanding that it may be some reason that the other person maybe not understood you clearly. So always allow clear understanding to be put forth in your boundaries. And that's the Proverb 15:1 scripture. Now, listening to what I just said, you know a couple of things about a boundary already. It's supposed to help you get peace, honor, good communication, clarity, protect your values, give a limitation on what you will and will not do. Now, what does a boundary communicate? Those same things. When you make a boundary, it communicates what I need. You may ask yourself, what do I need? If it's something that you're trying to approach to get done, accomplished, what do you need? What do you need from the other person? So, in understanding what you need first, it means you have to be aware of what you need. You come to a comfortable decision on that, and you make a statement, I am comfortable with whatever it is, your need. And the next level would be to apply, if behavior, more or less. It says, and that behavior is either agreeable or not agreeable. You're going to say, I am comfortable with going to the store for you, but I can't do it every day. I am comfortable with lending you $10, but you'll have to return it by next week on Friday. So a boundary sets a limit, tells them what you are going to do, what you're not going to do at the same time. And then also, if it doesn't take effect, the other end of it, the promise in it, if it doesn't take effect, what you will do at that point also can be added in the boundary. So the boundary can include what I need. That's the first part. What you're comfortable with. The behavior that you will or will not apply. And then if that behavior continues, what results? What are you going to do? I'm going to leave. I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to lend you any money. I'm not going to do the babysitting or whatever the agreement was. But boundaries protect your peace, your time, your values. They give limits, and they tell what behavior you're willing to accept with it. And that may make boundaries seem like they're very difficult. They're not. They're not difficult. But the other person on the other end has to be able to accept those boundaries. Different people have different boundaries, yes, for different reasons. So in all of this, I've given you a basic framework for your boundary. You can say, I care about blank. Like, I care about you. I'm not available for the aftercare of your, let's say your dog. You're dog sitting or something. I can offer you Tuesday if that works better for you. And then you can fill in the blank again and say, but if you persist on trying to force me to take care of him, I just won't be able to do it at all. So these are the ways boundaries are set. You have to have boundaries because it keeps you in your right mind. It doesn't make you an overgiver, overpleaser, which I've been so guilty of. So what we want to do is make sure boundaries set not a wall, but set a premise where they can understand you and you can understand them, and it becomes agreeable. So again, I'll say the framework sounds like this. I care about, you fill in the blank. I am not, or I am available for, and you're going to fill in these. I can offer, and if the behavior continues, I will have to have an outcome. And guess what? On that last part, that outcome, you have to stick to your outcome. Because if they keep doing the same thing, your boundaries are not effective. You have to make sure your boundaries are effective. It's just almost like giving guidelines to a child. But this is adult conversation, family to family conversation, friend to friend conversation, work environment conversation, romantic conversation. boundaries are good for your relationships, all relationships. So let's kind of get a good idea of what a good boundary is, what a emotional wall sounds like, or what a controlling technique sounds like. Because all of these can be something that you are exposed to every day if you don't formulate boundaries, or if people try to overrule your boundaries and make you an overgiver, make you a people pleaser. Those types of things happen all the time. All the time. So if we think about healthy boundaries, let's think about this first one here. It says protect connections. How do you protect your connection with a healthy boundary? What kind of statement would you be saying if you're protecting your connection with a healthy boundary? Would you be saying things like, well, I'll have to limit exposure to this, or you can attend this, or I'm willing to discuss this when we can speak consistently? Boundaries make your relationship work. Boundaries make you establish respect, not just for your time, but for the other person's time as well. So how do you implement boundaries for yourself? How do you make sure it's not an emotional wall that you're creating? Remember, boundaries don't need to be punishment. And that could sound something like, let's say, a punishment. I never discuss my feelings with anyone again. That's definitely an emotional wall. You put up that wall for what reason? Is it to keep them out or invite them in? Doesn't sound too inviting, but what we want to do is create boundaries that don't sound like a prison, but sound like I'm willing to be there to help. This is the part I'll do. This is the part you do. But if it continues to be this same pattern, it has to stop. Or you are going to do X, Y, and Z. That's simple boundaries. A lot of people think that boundaries can't be that simple, but they can. Let's say if you're communicating and you want to communicate clearly, a healthy communication would be, I need some time to calm down. And you can say, I will be ready in an hour to talk about this. Or I'll talk about it tomorrow. That's healthy. Now, an emotional wall to that same type of statement, I'm not going to explain anything. I'm just done talking to you. Think about that. Think about that. Emotional wall. Okay? Now, when it's controlling, the person is trying to get something from you, almost in a demanding way. If you don't talk about this right now, I'm going to make you regret it. Think about that. Very controlling. So now you've heard how a healthy boundary sounds, an emotional wall sounds, and a controlling technique sounds. These all lead to different types of punishment that you can impose on yourself or impose on the other person. But you want to keep the healthy boundary. So let's look at an interesting thing we can learn. This is what we call, you're going to put, like, let's say a game. We'll call it a game where we can put H for healthy, B or E, which one I want to put. We'll put E because it's emotional wall, and C for controlling. So we're using H for healthy boundary, E for controlling, E for emotional wall, and C for controlling. So you have 3 different responses you can apply. Now, in this little game, you might think of some situations that you've been in with these same specific statements here, or situationships, whichever one you might put it in. I'll call them situationships. They can be scenarios as well. Now, think of a time when you want to engage these people and listen to how these statements sound. Listen to how they sound, because we want to be able to remember what we've heard, or remember what we've been exposed to. Because I'm sure at some point in time, you've been exposed to boundaries that were or were not good for you. They didn't clarify, they didn't limit, and they were not imposed in a safe way that made you feel comfortable, that you could, relate and engage back and forth. So this is the first scenario. Number 1 says, if you raise your voice, I will pause the conversation and return when you are calm. Think about that. If you raise your voice, I will pause the conversation and return when you are calm. What kind of boundary is that? Would that be emotional, healthy, or controlling? Which one do you think it would be? We have to really process what it says, first of all, if you want to break it down. If you raise your voice, okay, you got a condition right there. I will pause the conversation. Okay, I'm telling you, stating you what I'm going to do. Then I will return when you are calm. All 3 of those sound like, to me, a healthy boundary, because you did everything and you said what the outcome would be, if it persists or if it did not, whatever the case is. So the healthy boundary right there is what you should have marked, H. What about this scenario? Nobody can be trusted, so I don't let anyone get close to me. What does that sound like? What does that make you envision when you hear it? Have you ever heard anyone say those things? These things that I'm bringing out, have you heard someone say these things? How did it make you feel? Did you feel like it was a welcoming thing? Yes. Which is what you have to think. How does that make you sound? How does that make you feel? Nobody can be trusted, so I won't let anyone get close to me. You can just put H for healthy, E for emotional wall, or C for controlling. First of all, when I think of someone saying kind of a negative word, which is in this sentence or statement, nobody, it's going to bring up negative. Yep, negative, definitely. It is emotional wall. Ernestine says E. Yes, most definitely. Emotional wall is what it is. Emotional wall is where you're blocking someone immediately from even being themselves. It may be a restriction you impose on yourself for you, Yes, Ernestine, definitely an emotional wall. So you don't let anyone get close to me. You're making that prison. You're making it a punishment, not only for you, but for them as well. So you want to make sure that when you're doing these boundaries, think about how you want to be conveying your need. And after you're conveying your need, you're also giving, what you will or will not do. Then you're telling how you will or will not do it. And then if it persists, you're stating what will happen at the end, the outcome. So scenario number 3, let's go over this one. And I've probably heard this 1,000 times. If you love me, you would cancel your plans and stay with me. Yes, Ernestine says yes. I'm sure you've heard it. Because what happens here is you've heard the statement that they're saying, if you love me. Sounds like they're coming out positive, right? If you love me, okay, definitely. Lady B says controlling. Yes, it is. Very controlling. It deals with limits that make you respond or have to respond for them. And most likely they want it right then and right there also. Say that again, huh? So in these scenarios, you have to understand that we're looking for what sounds healthy with an H. Emotional wall is closing you off. E. And what sounds controlling or manipulative? C is controlling. So that's what we're putting. Listen at number 4. I cannot lend you the money, but I can help you look for another resource. I'm laughing because I can remember hearing that a couple of times. And then I can remember saying that a couple of times. And in all of that, I'm also remembering how the person reacted. A lot of people don't want the resource. They want the money. So what we have to do there is go back to our boundary. And let me repeat this boundary again. Number 4 says, I cannot lend you the money, but I can help you look for other resources. Does that sound like a healthy boundary? You put an H. An emotional boundary, a wall, you put an E. Or C, controlling. And Lady B says H for healthy boundary. And Ernestine got a laughing face. I don't blame you. Yes, I would laugh too because I've heard it. I've experienced it. Especially if I'm dealing with my children and he's like, Mom, I need this. No, I'm like, yeah, you do, baby. You do. But let me show you where you can go and you need to go do and take the lawnmower and go down the road and cut the grass and, help yourself out instead of tapping my pockets. But all in all, we truly have to know that that is a healthy boundary. It may not sound healthy, but it is a healthy boundary because you're saying what I can do, what I will help you with, and you're telling the limits of it. So don't think that you're forced to give. Remember feeling like your body is saying no, but your mouth is saying yes, what we started with at the beginning. And then you're mad at yourself later on. I've been there too. Why did I do that? Okay. We have to ask ourselves. Stuff that we do. It will come up in all situations. All situations. And number 5 says, after what happened, I will never tell anyone how I feel again. Wow. What kind of boundary is that? After what happened, I will never tell anyone how I feel again. Just think about that. Lady V says E, Definitely, Lady V. It is E, is an emotional wall. You're putting up a wall and you're judging everybody from probably one incident. And again, if you formulated a boundary, probably when you told what you told or said what you said, and say, I'm sharing with you in confidence. That means don't share it with anyone else. So making sure you're stating what you need, stating the parameters of it, will or will not, and then the outcome of it. If you do, and if you persist, you state the outcome. These are not difficult to do. Boundaries, like I say, keep your peace. Keep your money in your pocket too. Been there. Ernestine says definitely emotional wall. Definitely emotional wall. We have to understand that you can't close people out. But some people still do it. Why? Out of those many things we mentioned earlier: fear, anger, control, manipulation. And they want what they want. Hey, that don't mean they get what they need to get. So refer them to a resource. That makes them mad, but hey, they need to work for it anyway. All right. Number 6 says, you cannot have friends. I don't approve of it. Woo. Think about that. You cannot have friends. I don't approve of it. What kind of stuff is that? What kind of boundary would that be? To me, it sounds very harsh. Definitely. Lady B says controlling. It is a controlling boundary. Says that's all I got for all. Let me read this slowly. That's all I got for them. And some prayer. Okay, I understand, Lady B. I don't blame you. You need to have that and prayer. Definitely prayer. That's why I started out with Proverbs. You know, the soft, easy, calm voice, slow to anger. Proverbs 15:1. Yeah, go to that good book. It helps you learn how to do boundaries. It helps you learn how to do a lot of things, basic instructions. So number 7 says, I will not continue a conversation that includes insults or threats. Woo. Woo. Ernestine, you're definitely right. Ernestine says controlling. Definitely controlling. That is not a healthy boundary in the sense of you're telling what you're not going to do. But when we think about it, is it really controlling? Remember the key word? Is it controlling, or is it setting the limits of what they're going to accept? So if you think about it, and that one caught me, and I just realized it, it's really a good boundary. Yeah, it's healthy because you're saying, I will not continue a conversation that includes insults or threats. And I'm laughing inside because I'm thinking, like, in today's time, you know, you might think that's okay. You just might think it's okay to insult someone or threaten someone. Seems like a norm, right? But no, it's not. But it is a healthy boundary to state that, okay, I'll be around you if you keep calm, you talk quietly in a low voice, and also listen when I talk. That's a boundary. That's a boundary, and it's a respectful boundary. A boundary. The bottom line of this one was insults or threats. They're saying what I will not do unless you stop this, this, and this. So it is a healthy boundary. So that one threw me too, Ernestine. So what you have to do with all of this, you have to end up doing a reflection on what you want to process and build in that boundary. Boundaries become very important in relationships of all kinds. Which one do you usually do? Do you usually do a healthy boundary? Do you usually do a controlling boundary? Or do you go to that, I'm going to shut you off, cut you off boundary, that emotional wall? Think about what you're doing. And the reason I'm saying this is because we have to reflect on what we're doing. And in reflecting on what we're doing, we're bringing ourselves to an awareness of being able to make a choice. Because that's what awareness does. It just puts you at a point of making a choice. You might say, what kind of choice? That's up to you, whether you're going to agree with it or not agree with it, whether you're going to participate or not participate. But awareness brings you to a choice. And that's plain and simply what it does. And it might be a different choice. It might not be the choice that they're offering. But then when you take that awareness and put it with the boundary, you begin to understand, is this what I need? Is this going to fit with what I need? And if it doesn't fit with what you need, then you relay the parameters of what works and what doesn't work. And guess what? The other person has what? The option to make a choice, a different choice. Okay? So that's just the basics of boundaries. And we have to understand how important that is. Because I want boundaries when I'm communicating to anyone that I talk to, so that I'm respected and I respect them in the same manner. I honor them, they honor me in the same manner. Because when you break a boundary, there should be consequences. You have to stick strong and stand strong on your boundaries. And as a mother, I know I have gone through several occasions where, my son, they come and they want something from me. And if I have it, more or less, I'm trying to accommodate. But now I'm looking at it in a different frame of mind. I'm looking at it in the frame of mind of where I have to say, are they doing something positive? Is this going to build something positive? And on top of it, I'm still going to set my parameters in my boundary. And then they have to honor those parameters. And when I set those parameters and they honor them, then I'm a little bit more willing, just like you would be to anybody that come up to you. You're a little bit more willing to listen to what they're saying the next time. You don't want them to be crying wolf, as they say. I'm saying the same thing and I'm doing the same thing. And what has changed? That goes into manipulation. Because if the thing doesn't change, the thing says the same thing, and the thing is doing the same thing, and controlling you with it, it becomes manipulation. Think about that. How easy we communicate and how easy sometimes we overlook those things just by basic habits. And there's different ways that we can make, boundaries like seem difficult or feel difficult. Because sometimes you don't feel like you are doing all your part to help that person. Mothers, fathers, all of us, we want to help our children. Vice versa. You want to help out a family member. You want to support a romantic partner. You want to do all those things. You want to participate in your co-op at work. You have to build boundaries on what you will and will not do. And it starts with your needs. Not just the other person's needs. Your needs. Don't overlook it. Don't start over giving. I've been guilty. So when you begin to think about the things that make boundaries difficult, we got to go there. We got to go there. We got to go there. People pleasing. You're trying to accommodate things for other people more than you're accommodating things for yourself. People pleasing. Going overboard. Doing more than you should. In all those relationships I just mentioned above. You may be keeping, everyone happy or trying to keep everyone happy. And you're trying to do it in a way that makes safety. Why? Different reasons. Again, it may be situations that cause events to happen. So people pleasing is one of the reasons that things may seem difficult to set boundaries with, I really like that person. I'm in love with that person. Oh, that's my family. But you still have to have boundaries. Remember, you are protecting you. Your peace, your honor, your respect, and your values. Do you matter? Do you matter? Ask yourself that. Because if you don't have boundaries and you don't stand up for them, people pleasing may be a reason. Another reason may be fear of rejection. Think about that. You want to be a part of the clique. You want to be part of the group. You want to hang. Tell me what you can do to be a part of the group without feeling like you have to over participate. So in all of that, remember, we're coming to the things that cause us to feel difficult in making boundaries. What things do you think? Are there some other things you could think of to cause you to feel like, I guess you would say, kind of triggered when it comes to making boundaries? Making boundaries difficult to formulate? Oh, something that pulls at your heartstrings. Here we go, family. Family. How many of you know about family? I just told you and shared a couple of things on my own. So, family. And growing up in your family environment, you could have been taught certain things. I can remember, the basic things where you barely were supposed to be heard, as a child. Children are seen and not heard. That was how it was relayed. So tell me what a family, maybe a trigger, something that you may think that it was difficult for that boundary to be set in a family. Were you allowed to say no, but say it respectfully, not disrespectfully? Were you allowed to say no respectfully? Think about that. You say no respectfully. Well, you simply say, I don't like that. I don't like doing that. And that's respectful. You haven't. Yes. You wasn't allowed to say anything. Okay. That's Lady B. I understand, Lady B. You wasn't allowed to say anything. I heard that. Been there. As I just said, it becomes a thing where you're saying children are heard and not seen, or seen and not heard. Excuse me, I'm saying it backwards. But it's all in what is safe. Maybe you were raised up in a family where you can't question your elders. How dare you? You can't question them. They take it when you were 2 and you asking 50 times why this and why is the sky blue? Why is the ground brown? Ernestine said certain words we couldn't say. Ooh, I can understand that, Ernestine. I can understand certain words you could not say. And Lady V says they didn't want to hear or see us. Okay, that's even worse. Don't want to be heard or seen because you know that you have to gather from them. Ernestine says, or stay on a child's place. Oh, yes, I heard that. Ernestine says, or stay on a child's place, in a child's place. Definitely. That's what you were told to do. So these are some of the structures that family have imposed on us when it comes to setting boundaries. Let's say in a partnership, romantic, for example, good partners sacrifice everything. What do you think about that? Good partners sacrifice everything? These are different ways that you build. Lady B says, you do what I say, not as I say, not what I do. In other words, do as I say, not as I do. I got you, Lady V. Those were the things. But is that a normal child? That's not a normal child. I mean, I have a master's in education, and I know that is not how children are raised. The normal child is going to do what they see you do. They hear what you say, and they see, and they do and see, and what they see you do. And Ernestine says, no, they don't. That's true. They don't want you to do that, but that's what happens. The more you hear what they do, the more you see what they do, those are the patterns that we're repeating. And that's what makes boundaries feel difficult. Feels very difficult. What about being the peacemaker? Oh, you got to keep the peace. You can't speak the truth. No, shh. Don't tell nobody. You have maybe a parent that was kind of on the loud side. So you keep the peace. You had no guidelines, no rules that you could say that would keep me safe. You had to go with what was there. Very controlling environment, that is. And I can see where some emotional walls from that environment will come from. Ernestine says, yes, definitely. These are all the things that we've either been exposed to or had in our environment or being raised with in our environments in different ways. And they have brought us to feeling like boundaries. Oh, I can't do that. I can't say that. And you become meek and you become mild. At least appear that way. And Lady B says, that's why I always been the black sheep. I understand that because I couldn't hold my peace or the truth. That sounds like me, Lady V. I can remember a couple of times. Got into trouble for my mouth. All right. Now, Ernestine says, secrets again. Oh, okay, Ernestine. Yeah, secrets again. They're going to tell them. Some people can't hold water. So make sure you know who you're confiding in. Make sure you know how you're sharing. Again, boundaries on your conversation. I think I made a statement here earlier about someone saying, I'm not going to share this with anyone anymore. Why? Because you didn't put parameters on what you were saying. So the person, when you talk to them, just thought, maybe I can tell Susie down the street, Mary around the corner, Bob over here, John at work. Maybe they thought those things. But put boundaries on and then use some discernment. Here we go. Because you have to know. Hello, is that Shar Williams? Hello, Shar. And I am definitely trying to make sure that you understand what boundaries are and how to make good boundaries and how to make healthy boundaries. Think about, we were just talking about family and family conditions that cause us to not want to make boundaries and to even be kind of fearful of making boundaries. Now we go into what really can cause even more, let's say, emotional walls, is dealing with trauma, past traumas, and being in the survival mode. You will think that you have to respond a certain way. Like Ernestine said earlier, or Lady B said earlier, that you weren't seen or weren't heard because they did not allow that. But we have to understand that as our children grow up, they have to learn how to be healthy young adults. And that means we as parents have to demonstrate what that looks like. So you can't tell them, do as I say, not as I do. They're going to do what they see you do on a consistent basis. Ernestine said, hello. They're definitely going to do that. So you have to consider how you're conveying that information, making that boundary, and teaching your children. If you have young children that are learning, becoming adults or young adults, they are doing more of what they see than what they really hear you say, they repeat it. So all those things you have to be careful of. Overgiving. Oh my gosh. I can tell you about overgiving. I can tell you about overgiving. I wanted to help a friend do a couple of events. And I'm always there for my friends. And when I'm trying to do this event, this particular friend is always leaning on me. And I'm adding more and more and more to the event. And it's costing me XYZ, XYZ, and XYZ. And when I look on the other side, it's like if you're seeing a scale, the scale looks like this. You know, this is me. Just putting it up there, putting it up there, putting it up there for her. And she's like, here, nothing. Nothing. I'm putting more and more and more and more on me. So I've been there in the overgiving column. And then that's where I learned I have to have boundaries. Because guess what? In the end, they were trying to dominate over that as if they were in control. And the person that's contributing the most and doing the most may really have been the one that was in control. So think about that. I had to learn how to have boundaries and say, oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. If you're going to wait for me to keep doing X, Y, and Z, and you're going to sit on the sidelines, and then at the end of everything, take all the glory for it. Like I had nothing to do with it. Oh, no. No, 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 no. I might be quiet, but don't let quiet fool you. Yes, don't let quiet fool you. Lady V, you're true. Lady V says, I over giving. Yes, you are. Are you over giving? I hope that's true. And Ernestine said, especially the new generation. Oh, honey, they are entitled. You got the wrong word. They are entitled. Don't you understand that? Because they were born, they are entitled. Just because they were born. Yes, they think that. But again, here's the boundaries. Where are the boundaries? Overgiving. We think the child has to have the Jordans, the G, the D, the D, the D, with all these name brands, labels and stuff. Why? Why? Are they earning it? The latest tablet, latest phone, latest da 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 da. Why? Are they earning it? And what is the boundary on respect of it? Are they applying it? Are they working hard? What are they contributing? Are they doing something positive where you can say, yes, then I will reward them? If you're doing this, I can show you I appreciate what you're doing by doing this. But then if you're not doing that and you're expecting me to do this, somewhere there's a off balance and you're becoming an overgiver immediately. So watch out for that. Watch out for that. Lady B says, no, they are not. They just think they're entitled to it. That's it. They absolutely do think they're entitled because they were born. I told you, they're breathing air. That's a requirement for them to have it. Just because they're breathing air. Just because they're breathing air. That's the entitlement factor. Now, these things that they go through, the overgiving, they can have fear also. If you were raised up in a house where it was kind of a lot of chaos or a lot of arguments or something, you can have fear of conflict. You want to be the good child. You want to be the good person. You want to always be on the right side of things. So you keep subduing and sublaying your own wants and desires. Well, I won't argue with my husband because he'll get upset because I didn't do X, Y, and Z. If I say this, he'll get upset. Really? What kind of relationship is that? Lady B says, but this soft parenting isn't helping either. Oh my God, no. Like I said, they're overloading with too much of everything without a responsibility, accountability, or even a respect for any of it. So therefore, when I look at things from now on, I'm like, okay, what is he doing? How is he doing? And if all those things help go in a positive direction, and I'm trying to give him as much encouragement as I can, because I'm always going to go to that resource first before I go to my pocket, and encourage them to start living a life of producing for themselves, because that's what it's about. It's not a weight that I should carry on my shoulder. It's a weight that they should carry. They have to learn how to be accountable, responsible, make their own boundaries in life to make them a productive adult. This is what it's all about. So overgiving, fear of conflict, people pleasing, fear of rejection, family conditions, past trauma, those are just a few of the things that will cause us to be weary of boundaries, be weary of setting boundaries. So you have to know what's going on with your children. Ernestine said, no, you need to earn it. That's exactly what I say, Ernestine. You have to earn it. Why? Because it puts more value in it for them. And Lady B says, soft parenting is also being soft in your marriage or relationship. Ooh, you don't, or you shouldn't, have to feel scared to speak up to your mate. You shouldn't. Honey, you spending all that money on that? Didn't we discuss X, Y, and Z? I thought you said if you did that, we were going to do this, and this is what was going to happen. Oh, you mean you shouldn't say nothing like that? It is not being, as you would say, controlling. It's being contributing in the way that you are building together. Ernestine says, yes, most definitely. You want to build together. And that's exactly what it's about when it comes to soft parenting in relationships, letting one not speak what they need to speak. Remember, it starts with your needs. Boundaries start with your needs first. Ernestine says, that's right. It does. It starts with your needs. If you cannot impart your needs first, whose needs are you going to start with? You can't make a boundary based on what the other person's saying. Why? because that's not going to support your needs. You know what your needs are. We talked about awareness and being aware of what your needs are. And the more you're aware of what your needs are, the more you can convey it. And it doesn't have to be an overbearing way that you convey it. You can say, sweetheart, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And then show me how you figured out ... And then when you figured that out, how did that affect this, and this? That means you're sharing. You can be aware of what's going on. One is not overtaking the other. One does not have a greater need than the other in that effect. That is a balance in the union. Even in parenting, you share, or you should share, your communication with what you're doing for a child, how you're doing it for a child, what you're doing for a child, what restrictions, boundaries, and all the above that you're going to apply on that child, especially if they're in the dating arena or all those things. Those things are discussed between you, your husband, then you convey jointly to the child. These are the ways things should be done. I'm not living in a perfect world myself, okay? But I'm just saying it helps the child to know that you have a parent system that's based on a solid foundation, and they have communicated, so they can communicate to you where you have an understanding that mom and dad are supporting me, but this is how they're supporting me. Ernestine says, and communication. Definitely communication. You need communication. There's got to be a reason that you don't have communication if you don't have communication. Is there something like a family member in between what you're doing that you don't have communication? Is somebody imposing themselves in an environment that they really shouldn't be in? See, these are all things that make boundaries healthy and unhealthy. Now at this point, where I have like what I call a reflection activity. And this reflection activity is based on just you and you alone. What you evaluate for yourself. So it's like a self-assessment. And I have questions. And you can answer the questions with 1, 3, or 5. This is your own personal assessment. But you answer these questions and you're going to calculate a score. 1, 3, or 5. Let me tell you what 1 is. 1 is never true. Whatever I ask you, you say, oh, no, 1 is never true. Number 3, if you use 3, you're going to say, sometimes true. If you use 5, almost always true. Again, I'll go through those. 1 is never true. 3, sometimes true. 5, always, almost always true. So you get to assess yourself on how good you've been in relating and communicating. This little reflection activity is going to give you a score on how well you're doing in your environment. Take this test. I want you to take this test because only you know what score you get. And only you can be the judge. And maybe when you come to looking at these scores, you come to awareness that maybe enlightens you. Oh, maybe I need to work on that. Maybe I'm good on that. Maybe, really, I need a whole lot of help on that. But that's your self-assessment. So let's go again. 1 is never true. 3 is sometimes true. And 5 is almost always true. All right, here we go. And we got 10 answers, 10 questions, 10 statements, or however they're phrasing it. So the statement is, I say yes when I really want to say no. I say yes when I really want to say no. Guess what? I'm taking it with you. Number 2 says, I feel responsible for fixing other people's emotions. People pleaser? Always got to be keeping everything calm. I feel responsible for, fixing other people's emotions. That was number 2. Got 10 to go, so got 8 to go now. Number 3, I become resentful after helping people. I become resentful after helping people. Number 5, I over-explain my decisions. I over-explain my decisions. Number 6, I feel guilty when I choose to rest. I feel guilty when I choose to rest. Do you feel guilty? Remember, 1 for never true, 3 for sometimes true, and 5 for almost always true. That was question number 6. This is question number 7. Number 7, I repeatedly accept apologies without changed behavior. I repeatedly accept apologies without changed behavior. You guys know what that means. That's number 7. Number 8, I avoid asking for what I need. I avoid asking for what I need. I avoid asking for what I need. That was number 8. Number 9, I feel that people only value me for what I provide. I feel that people only value me for what I provide. That was number 9. Number 10, I remain available even when I'm physically or emotionally exhausted. I remain available even when I feel physically or emotionally exhausted. That was number 10. I'll repeat them quickly. Number 1 was, I say yes when I really want to say no. Number 2 was, I feel responsible for fixing other people's emotions. Number 3 was, I become resentful after helping people. Number 4 was, I allow disrespect because I want to avoid conflict. I must have skipped that one. Sounds like I did. but I'm not sure. I might have skipped that one. Number 5, I over-explain my decisions. Number 6, I feel guilty when I choose rest. Number 7, I repeatedly accept apologies without changed behavior. Number 8, I avoid asking for what I need. Number 9, I feel that people only value me for what I provide. And number 10 was I remain available even when I am physically or emotionally exhausted. Now what you do is total up everything. From 1 to 10, add your numbers. Add your numbers. One to 10, add your numbers. All right. If you come up with a score between 10 and 20, if you're in that category, your answer, if you're between 10 and 20, your boundaries may be fairly clear, but remain alert to specific relationships where you may be weakened. All right. I see a 19. That fits. I'll read it again. Your boundaries may be fairly clear, but remain alert to specific relationships where they may weaken. That's between 10 and 20. Okay? Between 21 and 35. If you have those numbers, if you're in that range, I'm trying to calculate mine. Okay. I think this is where I'm fitting. 21 to 35, some boundaries need strengthening and more consistent communication. Lady B says, I always got to keep my head and peace on a swivel. I understand that. For your position, you definitely do. We have to make sure we're putting that peace in there because that's where these boundaries come in play. Now, I mentioned 21 through 35. That's where I fit. Some boundaries need strengthening and more consistent communication. The last group was 36 to 50. Guess what, guys? It says you may be overgiving, people-pleasing, or abandoning your needs to preserve a relationship. Woo! Ding, 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 ding. You're not the winner. Work on your boundaries. That last category was 36 to 50. You may be overgiving, people-pleasing, or abandoning your needs to preserve relationships. And Lady V says, that's because they don't know they are a priority. Ooh, definitely. And you know why you're a priority? Because people are coming to you, probably asking you for things, especially like money, transportation, information. We're going to get into more of this. And I'm loving you guys participating with me. But right now, what we're getting ready to do is take a commercial break. Yes, we're going to take a commercial break. And what we're going to do when we get back, we're going to identify boundaries that as I mentioned, were difficult. And when we return, we just discussed the difficult part of it. When we return, we're going to learn exactly what to say and what to do to handle this pushback that you may be getting because you're setting a boundary and people just don't like it. So you may be getting that pushback. What? You did what? Oh, you're trying to act funny. You're trying to act different. Yes. Oh, you didn't used to do this? Hey, new me, new season. Season change. So do I. So that's what we're going to do when we come back from the commercial break. We're going to learn how to practice boundaries in families, friendship, romance, and workplace. Because we have to do these things to get the application skills. And it'll improve that assessment that we just took. So come back. Be back with me. L.U.V.E.2 podcast. We'll be right back from this commercial break.
Yeah. It's time. Justice. Fairness. Second chance.
Set them free, let them live again.
Yeah.
Second chance, let it begin again.
Yeah.
Call your leaders, make it right. SB 25, it's time to stand up and fight. Yeah.
They get the time now, hear our cry. Families waiting, asking why. Justice ain't just punishment. It's redemption, it's common sense. One voice, one call can change it all. Pick up the phone, let freedom call.
Set them free, let them live again. Second chance, let it begin again. Call your leaders, make it right. SB 25, it's time to stand up and fight. Set them free, let them live again. Second chance, let it begin again. Call your leaders, make it right. SB 25, it's time to stand up and fight.
Mothers praying, children dreaming. Bring them home where they should be. Fair is fair, let mercy rise. We the people hear our cry.
Justice for all, not just for some. We won't stop till the change is done.
Raise your voice, don't wait, don't stall.
Freedom should belong to all. Set them free, let them live again. Second chance, let it begin again. Call your leaders, make it right. SB 25, we will win this fight. Set them free, let them live again. Second chance, let it begin again. Call your leaders, make it right. SB 25, we will win this fight.
Say it loud.
Second chance.
Say it proud.
Second chance.
SB 25.
Let go. Freedom now. Justice matters.
Do what's right.
Call your government officials, stay. No more wait.
And tell them to pass the bill.
SB 25.
Hey. Yeah.
EMP.
MP.
Got a story in your heart, got a dream you wanna start. Need healing, need truth, need a brand new spark. MP books bring light when it's dark. From poetry vibes to soul food flames, from dating smart to faith that remains. We don't just read, we rise, we win. Turn that first page, let change begin. Read it, feel it, flip that page and catch these MP vibes. We grow, we glow, every chapter helps you roar and flow. Oh, it's that breakthrough energy. Oh, it's that MP flow. We're not just books, we spark breakthroughs. We're not just words on the page, we awaken you. We're soul shifters, mindset lifters. One good book, our story is a gift. In, read it out loud. Feel it deep in your soul. If you need change, grab it, seal it, and don't forget to tell the world about it. We're in here, we stand loud and proud. Storytelling that moves the crowd. Scan that code, don't waste no time. Don't sleep on us, go to Linktree now. Come run with MP Book Club. We bring stories to life, raw and true. MP Book Club. Don't forget to grab a book from us.
Book club.
MP Club.
Book club.
Faith over fear.
Much prayer, much power. With a God crew. And we invite you.
Faith over fear.
We walking in power. Much prayer. We stand firm. Every hour. Come to Christ, let him heal your soul. meet us online, 8 p.m. Eastern. Come and shine. 7 p.m. Central, don't miss your place. We lifting up Jesus and chasing his grace. Sunday morning, start your week off right. 9 a.m. Eastern, let your faith ignite. 8 a.m. Central, tell the whole crew to come through. Check your local time. We're waiting on you. No fear, more faith, more prayer, more power. Come fellowship with the God crew today. Jesus is calling. Don't wait another minute or another hour. Will you accept God's invitation today? Over fear. Much prayer, much power. With a God crew, and we're inviting you to come get your praise on with us.
Party in the vault at the Here Reserve Bling Vault, where you unlock the bling, raid the vault, and frost yourself with our fabulous $8 accessories. At the Here Reserve Bling Vault, our mission is to engage, connect, and build a vibrant community of customers and team members through our exquisite range of affordable accessories. We strive to create lasting relationships and foster a sense of belonging, where every interaction is an opportunity for empowerment and inspiration. And for all the links to follow, it is the Hill Reserve on Linktree. And be sure you register to shop to frost yourself. And you know, we always keep Lady V frosted on the Too Gone, Too Long Judgment-Free Radio. Come on in and frost yourself.
Home was supposed to be safe.
Everybody has a past.
I thought home was supposed to protect me.
Will Kenya survive L.U.V.E, the fast life?
Well, the monster lived there too. I learned how to cry without making face up and tell them we outside tonight. Champagne behavior. Now watch me rise. We outside, whole squad outside. Everybody fresh in the money looking right.
But God found me when I couldn't find myself.
Outside, I remember praying for.
I lived the fast life, searching for love, acceptance, and purpose in all the wrong places. My journey was filled with pain, heartbreak, and impossible choices. But God's grace rewrote my story. This isn't just where I've been. It's proof that redemption is always possible, and hope has the final word. Available now. Don't wait. Go grab your copy today. Available on Amazon and all streaming platforms.
Okay, welcome back. We are glad to see you back here. We're discussing boundaries on the INN L.U.V.E.2 podcast that's represented on the I'm just messing up everything. Too Gone, Too Long Judgment-Free Network. And we are back here and we're doing this thing with boundaries. We're formulating boundaries. We were discussing a lot of things so far. We discussed, what may hinder us from making boundaries, what make boundaries difficult. But I did give you a formula to formulate your own boundaries. And it's really not that difficult. You have to start with your needs. Start with your needs. You have to be aware of what your needs are. And after you're aware of what your needs are, then you have to put in the parameters of, what can I do? What can I do for you? How long maybe I'm going to do this? And what are the conditions if things persist and it does not become what either one of us want? So conditions are set in boundaries. And when you're setting conditions and boundaries, you have to make sure that you're asking yourself, what is it? Is there anything I'm afraid of? You have to ask yourself, is there anything I'm afraid of? And then you have to ask yourself, what does, really work for me? What is it going to work for me? Because you have to examine your needs. So you have to have a level of courage to explore those questions. And exploring those questions, you're going to go into, asking yourself again, is the situation hurting you? Is the situation helping you? Is the situation exhausting you? Is the situation making you feel like you're respected or disrespected? So when you look at all those things, sometimes the bottom line you come to is, this arrangement really don't work for me. It's not good for me. It's not doing anything positive. So in your boundaries that you formulated, you have to evaluate those things on the outside before you start making those boundaries. So looking at ownership, you have to take responsibility of it. You and then the person you're relaying it to. There's a joint ownership in this, because if I'm speaking my boundary clearly to that person, they're receiving it, then they have to take ownership that, okay, she did say X, Y, and Z. So what should be done then? At that point, the person has a choice of either saying, okay, I will, or I will not. And when that is conveyed, then there you go. You got a consequence. You got a consequence. So taking responsibility for sharing that communication with the other person, maintaining the boundary, even if you accept the boundary, maintaining it with respect and decency. I honor him, he honors me, vice versa. So what you have to really understand that, people, they cannot consistently honor a boundary if they don't clearly understand it. So that's the point. Making sure you're clearly understanding what the other person is saying, vice versa, what you're giving to the other person in communication. So boundaries must be clear. You cannot blame the other person for giving that behavior if you haven't stated something clearly that they did not understand. And by that meaning, you have to communicate. I think Ernestine said something about communication earlier. So communication becomes a vital part. You have to take ownership for your communication to that person, and vice versa, that person takes ownership for their communication to you. Okay? And that's 1, 2, here we go with 3, being vulnerable. A lot of people don't like to be vulnerable. Oh my gosh, I got to show you that my slip is hanging. I got to show you that I need something. Yes. If you're being confident in your person and confident in just relaying what you need to say, you make sure that, I can trust them. I have confidence in them. So ownership, being vulnerable, I'm sharing with them what I need. And that person takes it in stride as well, because if you're sharing something vulnerable to them, they should keep it in confidence, and vice versa, share it when they need something in the same respect. So you have to be vulnerable. You have to tell them what you need. I'm a mind reader. No, you're not a mind reader. You have to be communicative, and vulnerability is a part of it. You can't say you need something without being vulnerable. It opens a gate. It may be an uncomfortable one, but then you have confidence in the person you're talking to. Or, as Ernestine said earlier about secrets, don't share the secret. Don't communicate to them. If they're going to spill what you're going to say, you really don't need to share it with them. And then that only takes one time for that to happen. So make sure you're understanding that vulnerability could mean that you feel safe with that person. You feel like more or less that person's at home. You can rest. You're getting respect from them. You're getting honesty. You're getting consistency. And they are, which is the most important thing in the communication, is they're taking emotional consideration to what you're saying. Are they considering what you're saying? Or are they just blowing it off? If they're just blowing it off, you can set all the boundaries you want. The person has to be receptive to you. That is a part of their responsibility to you, and vice versa, your responsibility to them. So I've gone over courage, ownership, vulnerability, value. If they're listening to you, then they value what you're saying. They value why you're putting this restriction on it, why you're putting these parameters around it. If they're not listening to you, you may not be their priority, as Lady V said earlier. You may not be their priority. Think about that. Even in direct communication, in any level of communication. I think I mentioned family, friends, romance, workplace, just regular community event, those types of things. It's where we have to impose restrictions, boundaries, and lay them out. And as I said, I've gone over courage. I've gone over ownership, vulnerability, value was the last one we were talking about. Now we have to go to voice. How are you saying what you're saying? Tone matters. Definitely. Are you demanding? Are you being soft and reserved? I really like that if you do that for me. Realize your voice makes the difference. You want to be heard, but also notice how you're being heard. That emotional connection has to be there, and understanding I'm contributing X, Y, and Z because you need X, Y, and Z, and this is how I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, then your boundary is being received. Opposite person doing the same thing, they're doing the same thing. You have to be receptive, understanding to their boundary. It doesn't mean you have to apply it or be willing to even do it. Remember, it's a yes or no in those cases. So we've gone over everything that deals with most of what we are covering. We're dealing also with being able to release it. So you got to have the confidence. You got to have the belief that you're important. You're being respected. You're being honored. So you have to have that part. Restoring balance is what it's about. Because in one boundary being received by the other person, there's a balance put in that place. A balance that says, okay, I can agree to this much on these conditions with these limits. And therefore your boundaries don't become exhausting, weakening. They become strengthening. They honor you. They honor the other person as well. They show respect. Respect that I value your time. I value that you're here listening to me, just like I do right now, guys. I definitely value your time. Now, we've gone over release and restoring balance. And the last thing we need to do, and I just said that, and we're doing exactly what I'm saying here, is respect. Giving you respect. I respect what you're saying. I absolutely respect you for your opinion. And you can state those things in reply to a boundary. I respect why you say you need $50 to go do that. But I will refer you to a resource that will help you get that $50. Again, a technique we can use. Give them a resource, not just money. Help them build them. But then if they don't want to build them, you might want to second think about giving them money. Think about that. Destiny is the bottom line to where we're going at the end, always. Destiny. What are you doing to make your life balanced, to make your communication balanced? And this boundary that you're setting is going to build that. If you're doing things in a positive manner, you're setting up what I need, you're conveying how you need it, you're conveying the limitations on it, and you're conveying also the conditions if it continues or not continues. You set a boundary that's going to be healthy. You set a boundary that's going to make sure that you keep investing in that person, investing in what you're doing, investing in sharing what you're doing. So all in all, make it the best you can make it by doing those things that I just mentioned. Even though we mentioned all of this, we have to understand that, boundaries, there's different ways of doing boundaries and different ways of creating boundaries. So you should practice. You should apply this. You should practice it and apply it at the same time. It's not going to be difficult, but it may be something new. We took that self-assessment, so we should know where our scores are, kind of what category you fit in. If you were in that 19 to 20 area, or 10 to 20 area, you were doing pretty good. If you were in that 21 to 35 area, some improvement. If you were in that 36 to 50 area, yeah, let's go back to the drawing board. Go back and look at what I said was a framework for a good boundary. Boundaries do not have to be difficult, but you do have to uphold them. You do have to stick to them. You do have to stand strong on them, or they become something that will just get swept under the rug. Yeah, you can love the person. You can love the family member. You can do all those things. But guess what? It becomes manipulation if nothing changed. Same attitude, manipulation. They got you where they want you. Okay? So love and making a boundary, and you're mixing it together. It's an easy way to do it. You got to name the situation. Name the situation. What situation are you in? I just mentioned about the loaning the money, or changing plans, or someone waiting for you, or counting on you all the time. Being an overgiver. These are some things that we may have been doing. So name the situation. That's the first thing you do. What is my situation? This kind of tells you what you need also. And it goes into the next part, which is stating your need. Once you realize the situation, you can state where it's something you want to do or you do not want to do. Think about that. And you have to also think about how this is going to impact you. Is it going to take more of my time? Is it taking more of my money? Is it costing me to be exhausted? Is it costing me my peace? Am I feeling disrespected after it? So evaluate the impact of it. Evaluate the impact. These are all these things when you're getting these pushbacks you got to listen to. Now, stating your boundary. You know what you want. State it. And you can state it in conditions. Excuse me. You state it in conditions kindly. Please let me know. Please don't do that. I prefer. You can be polite with it. I'm not saying be overrun and over explaining and all that, but you can definitely state from a perspective of what your situation is, how this is going to impact you and your need, and then you state the boundary of what you do need from it. After that, you're going to take action. What action are you going to take? If you do this, I will not continue talking to you because you're too loud, too upset. That costs too much. You have to put boundaries, especially on kids, and they want things. Maybe kids. That's too much that I'm allowed to spend out of my budget. And you have to understand how it impacts you. Next, in all of this, as I mentioned, you have to have a clear understanding. You have to put all this together in that statement. And it might sound something like this: I care about the relationship. When I'm insulted during a disagreement, I feel disrespected. I'm willing to discuss the difficult issues with you, but I will not remain in a conversation where I'm being called names. If that happens, I will pause the conversation and pick it up at a later time. Wow. That was a full statement. That was a boundary on the actions or the reactions that you're receiving to something maybe you have requested. And it has to bring it to a level where it's agreeable. So there's some compromising in it, definitely. So when it's an area where it's agreeable, as I just said, name that situation, state the need, the impact it's going to have on the need, then state your boundary, then state what action you're going to take, and make it clear and make it plain and make it understood. Once you do those things, you are hoping to get a good communication between you and the other person. It's necessary to make sure it's clarified, though. Clear communication makes it a consistent thing where you do not have to have consequences that the person said, well, I didn't know, but you stated X, Y, and Z. And if this does not, this is what transpires. You made it clear. So don't think of consequences as revenge, because it's not. You have to take action and you have to protect that boundary you just established. Why? If not, you'll be overrun and you might fall into manipulation. Think about that. So don't fear applying those consequences if it didn't go like you needed it to go. This is how we build healthy relationships. This is how we build healthy environments. This is how we build healthy connections. So boundaries are a must. Now, you may several times when you look at things that it's not as good as you want it to be. It's okay to think like that. But what you must do, you must understand that a boundary is necessary. Now, some of these things I'm going to say you may have heard. Some of these things you may have experienced. Some of these things are built into our daily lives because we communicate with several different people in several different environments at several different times. Family, friends, partners, business, romance, other environments, work environments. These are all places where boundaries are necessary. They have to be implied. They have to be applied. And then they have to be understood. So if you hear things like, I'm not available for that, they're telling you what they will do or what they will not do. Or a statement that, I need to think about that before I give you an answer. At least you're being considered and they heard what you said. Or if you hear, that doesn't work for me. Hopefully you hear the other side of it, I prefer, and then they start telling you what they prefer. So then you have something that you can work with and compromise with. Or, I love you, and my answer is still no. guess what? Remember, no is a full sentence. And you are allowed to say no and not agree. We are allowed to say no. You, me, I, he, she, them, they. They are allowed to say no. And you can rephrase it, restructure your boundary. But remember, it starts with your need. And you don't want to be too bending and giving. You want to make sure that you take care of yourself as a priority. So you may hear some of those things I just mentioned. You may know of some of those things I just mentioned. Now, what I want to do is go to my second scripture. My second scripture comes from 2 Timothy 1 and 7. 2 Timothy 1 and 7. And this second scripture is kind of the basing of what I'm going to close with for the next couple of things that we're talking about. 2 Timothy reads, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Think about that. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Now you may say, okay, we're working on boundaries. So the connection to that would be, a boundary, it should not come from fear. It comes from your need. A boundary should not come from fear. It should not come from anger. It should not come from revenge. All those things puts it in a totally different category. It doesn't become a boundary anymore. It may go into that emotional wall or that control area that we discussed. God gives you the power, the love, and clear thinking. That's his purpose. And we're to respond to that, or hopefully to the other person, in a wise and timely manner. So again, 2 Timothy 1 and 7, scripture based. That's why boundaries are important. He wants you not to be in fear, anger. You got to do these things in love. And that's my message all the time. So when you think about what people do when they push back, they want to resist what you're saying. They don't want to support your boundary. But you got to remember, you can have a boundary, but a boundary does not mean it's wrong. And because they push back, it doesn't mean it's wrong. What it means is they're not agreeable to it. That's simply what it means. They're not agreeable to it. So, people may respond with guilt. After I did all that for you. After I did all that for you. Guilt tripping, making you feel insecure. What about anger? You've changed. You've changed. Where are you coming from with that? You didn't used to be like this. Pushback. Know that the pushback button is arriving on your boundary. How about this? They want to make it small. Oh, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. Oh, you're extra. All right, really? These are all pushback buttons, I'm trying to tell you, because they don't want to honor or respect your need. Remember, we started with your need. That's what the boundary states. They don't want to honor your value. They don't want to respect what you're stating. Be careful, watch out for it. How about this? Okay, just this one time. Sounds like they're being pressured into doing it. You know, you really don't want someone doing it when they're not going to do it with the whole heart. Again, doing it tit for tat. I'll do it if you do this. Conditional. What about blame? That sounds selfish. You're just thinking about yourself. Well, guess what? Who else thinks about you on that degree? You have to start with thinking of yourself that way. That's why boundaries are important. That's why boundaries are necessary. Oh my goodness. And the last but not least, the shutdown, the silent treatment. But I just won't talk to you. You get the silent treatment. Silent treatments can lead to a form of manipulation, a form of disrespect for what you need. Oh, I just won't talk about it. Oh, that's still an answer. No answer is an answer. Always. I don't know why people think it isn't. No answer is still no answer. And it's a decision. So the silent treatment. These are all ways that you may get the pushback and having your boundaries. So what you want to do is make sure that you're making your boundary clear. I said that. It's not something that you want to make like a defense, but you want to make sure it's understood. And you want to also say at some points, if it's not agreeable, I understand that you're disappointed. I'm still not available. I understand you're disappointed. I still can't loan you the money. I'm understanding that you're disappointed, and I hear how you feel. My decision is the same. We have to hold strong on our boundaries. If not, we will go into other categories where we become molded in an unhealthy way. And I call them mental notes, because mental notes is on the side. And what I mean by mental notes being on the side, you will cause things like violent things to happen, maybe. Someone get really irate and upset and angry. Someone start retaliating. Someone maybe stalking. There's a different story about stalking, guys. Stalking, yes. And that means stalking physically and these days virtually. Okay? So your boundaries are important. Your boundaries are very important. Because if you fall for it, it could cause different things. Like I said, violence, financial harm to yourself. You have to understand what the balance of what you're doing implies or impacts on you and your needs. Yes, you are a priority. So it could cause several things to happen. Being unstable, housing instability. You might want to encourage that person, if they're going through any of those things that are real traumatic, to seek a healthy plan, to seek maybe some assistance, professional support, because we can set boundaries. But we can't help everybody all the time. So being realistic in setting our boundaries, make sure that you understand that. That's that mental note on the side. Yes, people will do several things. Any of those above I mentioned. Violence, stalking, retaliation, financial harm, housing instability. Any of those things could happen. Remember, keep that mental health healthy. Okay? Now, in doing these things, you want to keep the boundary solid. You have to notice it, name it, prepare it,
Ooh, yeah. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Don't you act brand new. It's too gone too long. Judgment-free radio. And we're waiting for you. Any artist, come on and shine. Business owners, this your time to show the world how you grind. Drop your video, showcase your dream. Let the whole world know who you are. True Gone to Long, judgment-free radio. Radio. Got a story, we want it. We want it. Got talent, don't hide it. Time to show out. Bring your heart, your hustle, your snacks. We put you on the map, got 'em screaming, who that? Hey, that's you. Go ahead and brag. We celebrate you on the tour. Don't go long, judgment-free radio.
We're lifting you higher and higher. No judgment here, just love and fire.
Step in the spotlight, let your purpose grow. We're the family you've been waiting for.
Any artist, bring that heat. Business owners, take your seat.
Hit that link, let your greatness flow.
Long to long, judgment-free radio.
Click that link, boom.
Click that link,
To
boom.
go to long, tree. Come on home. This is where you belong. To go to long, judgment-free radio. Radio. Click that link, boom. To go to long, JFR only tree. Come on home. This is where you belong.
To Gone to Long, judgment-free radio.
Hey! Yeah, 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 yeah.
EMP.
MP.
Got a story in your heart, got a dream you wanna start. Need healing, need truth, need a brand new spark. MP books bring light when it's dark. From poetry vibes to soul food flames, from dating smart to faith that remains. We don't just read, we rise, we win. Turn that first page, let change begin. Read it, feel it, flip that page and catch these MP vibes. We grow, we glow. Every chapter helps you roar and flow. Oh, not just words on the page. We awaken you. We're soul shifters, mindset lifters. One good book, our story is a gift. In, read it out loud. Feel it deep in your soul. If you need change, grab it, seal it, and don't forget to tell the world about it. We're MP. We stand loud and proud. Storytelling that moves the crowd. Scan that code, don't waste no time. Don't sleep on us. Go to Linktree now. Come run with MP Book Club. We bring stories to life. Raw and true. MP Book Club. Don't forget to grab a book from us. Book Club. MP Club. Book Club.
Faith over fear. Much prayer, much power. With a God crew. And we invite you. Faith over fear. We walking in power. Much prayer. We stand firm. Every hour. Hey, come to Christ, let him heal your soul. Join the God crew. Let the Savior take control. Tuesday, Thursday, meet us online. 8 p.m. Eastern, come and shine. 7 p.m. Central, don't miss your place. We lifting up Jesus and chasing his grace. Sunday morning, start your week off right. 9 a.m. Eastern, let your faith ignite. 8 a.m. Central, tell the whole crew to come through. Check your local time, we're waiting on you. No fear, more faith, more prayer, more power. Come fellowship with the God crew today. Jesus is calling. Don't wait another minute or another hour. Will you accept God's invitation today? Over fear. Much prayer, much power. With a God crew, and we're inviting you to come get your praise on with us. Faith over fear. Much prayer, much power, power. Faith over fear. Much prayer, much power, power.
Come party in the vault at the Here Reserve Bling Vault, where you unlock the bling, raid the vault, and frost yourself with our fabulous $8 accessories. At the Here Reserve Bling Vault, our mission is to engage, connect, and build a vibrant community of customers and team members through our exquisite range of affordable accessories. We strive to create lasting relationships and foster a sense of belonging, where every interaction is an opportunity for empowerment and inspiration. And for all the links to follow, it is the Hill Reserve on Linktree. And be sure you register to shop to frost yourself. And you know, we always keep Lady V frosted on the Too Gone, Too Long Judgment-Free Radio. Come on in and frost yourself.
As we close this moment, take this love with you. Keep growing, keep healing, keep becoming something new. In love too, what builds and what binds. In love to create you. Remember, healing is not the destination. Healing is the foundation.
That's right, Lady to Love. Thank you for giving us our healthy tools. Until next time.
Keep healing, keep growing, and keep becoming.
Thanks for watching.
In love too, with Lady to Love.
Your inspiration.
Solutionist.